Escape from Tarkov. What on earth is this game called Escape from Tarkov that seems to have come literally out of nowhere? Literally within the past like 9 days since January started, ever since they implemented the Twitch drops feature, the game has literally blown up like completely out of proportion. Like biggest game on Twitch, not right this second because there's other events going on and stuff that's pulling more viewers, but this game has an average viewer count of like over 200,000 for the month of January, which is absolutely insane for a game to do in literally less than a week. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to try to explain to you guys what Escape from Tarkov is, so you can get a general idea of how the game works, because I know a lot of your guys' favorite streamers are most likely streaming this game right now because it's what all the big streamers are playing right now. And you guys may be interested in picking the game up yourself or have already picked it up and you're trying to figure out how to get past the insane learning curve of the game. So I may not do a 100% perfect job to explain everything, but I'm going to do my best to give you a general idea of what the game is, what the point of the game is, and just give you a general understanding of what you're watching your favorite streamers do in the game, and if you're playing it yourself, get a general idea of what you're supposed to do. So without further ado, Escape from Tarkov. The best way I can describe Escape from Tarkov is kind of a completely open world first-person shooter that has a lot of battle royale elements to it. So your goal of the game is not to be the last alive. Your goal is to load into a map, take whatever gear in you want with you, and run around the map, loot the map, find different guns, attachments, all sorts of different resources and stuff, kill other players while you're in there, and then your goal is to escape from Tarkov, hence the name of the game. Now, there's a little bit of a catch to it, and this is what may make people kind of turn away from the game because it's very punishing. If you die to another player and you're not able to extract with all your loot, you are going to lose every single thing you took in with you. So you can probably see what I mean by it can be very punishing, especially with how hardcore of a game it is. It's really realistic. So there's a lot of people that will literally just hide. It's very slow paced. So there's a lot of people that will literally just hide and wait for you to walk by, and you'll get one tapped in the head, have no idea where you even got shot from, and you just lost all your weapons because someone was just camping in a bush. Things like this do happen very often, so if you're thinking about purchasing the game, keep in mind that it can be very punishing if you die, and it's probably going to piss you off if you die in a way like that. Now, there are some ways that you can keep some of your loot if you die by insuring it. That's something we'll talk a little bit later in the video about. And there's also two different characters you can play as. You have your scav and you have your main character. So now that you get the general idea of what you're supposed to do in the game, let's talk a little bit about the characters that you play as. So in Escape from Tarkov, you have two different characters you can play as. You have the scav and you have the PMC. Your PMC is going to be your main character that's going to house all your gear, everything in your inventory. That's going to be your main character you play on. Now you also have the scav, which if you play as a scav, it'll load you into the game with a complete random set of loot. The scav is actually really good to play on when you're trying to warm up, or if you're kind of low on loot, especially when you first start on the game, you don't really want to risk losing all your good stuff. You can load in as a scav and get a random set of loot, and you'll at least be able to start out with a weapon, a little bit of healing items, because every time I play as a scav, I always have a weapon. I usually have at least a couple of things to heal with and everything, and you just get a few other random resources. So a really awesome way to kind of warm up into the game and whatnot. Now, there is a catch to the scav. You can only play it once every 20 to 25 minutes, so keep that in mind. If you die as the scav, or even if you extract, it's going to give you a 20 to 25 minute timer before you can load back in as a scav. Now, the same can kind of be said with the PMC with as often as you can play it, but it works a little different. Let me explain it. So how the PMC works is basically if you load into the game and you were to die, you're going to load, whenever you load back out to the main menu, your character is going to be heavily wounded still. There's a couple different things that you can do if your character is heavily wounded. One, you can load right back into the game if you want to. Keep in mind, you're going to probably be limping, you're probably going to be really slow, and you're going to have a horrible experience, and you're probably going to die. Secondly, you can choose to use some resources to go ahead and heal your character super quick. That'll allow you to get back to full health and get right back in the game playing as your PMC, or you can wait on your character to regenerate. That's kind of where the time limit comes in. Like the scav has a 20 to 25 minute timer on it. The PMC almost has the same thing if you have to wait for your health to regenerate, because it does take anywhere, usually about 30 minutes depending on how bad you get injured. Now keep in mind, both characters, if you die, you're going to lose everything that you took in with you unless you insured some of your stuff. Again, we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. The only difference to the PMC is if you die and lose that stuff on your PMC, that is your permanent gear. That's your inventory that you're going to be losing. If you die on the scav, it's not as punishing because it's a random set of gear. you can play again in 20 minutes with the same random set of gear. Not the same random set, but you know what I mean. You get another set of random gear. So that's kind of a general explanation to give you a good idea of what the scav is, what the PMC is, what's the difference in the two, and how they work. So now that you know a little bit about the characters, let's jump over and talk a little bit about inventory management, a huge thing on this game. Inventory management is insane on this game. A lot of people refer to the game as inventory simulator because it literally takes so much time to manage your inventory and to make trade deals, sell stuff, build stuff, modify weapons. It takes so much time. But that's one of the things that a lot of people really enjoy about the game, because you can literally modify every single part to your weapon and you can make it your own however you want it to be. You can put any different type of sight on it you want. There's all different types of bullets you can use. You can have different magazines. You can change your grips. You can change your stock. You can even change your dust cover. I didn't even know dust covers were a thing, but you can change your dust cover in this game. It really gives you the chance to kind of build out your character however you want it to be. If you want to go for long range fighting, short range fighting, I mean, it's super cool all you can do. Now, when it comes to your inventory, on your main character, you have what's called a stash, which is like your whole inventory stash over on the right side of your screen here. Now, I will note, depending on the version of the game you buy, it will determine exactly how big your stash size is. I think there's a couple different options of the game you can buy. I bought the standard edition. I forget what the exact size, like the grid size of the stash for the standard version is. So if you're considering playing this game really hardcore, then you might want to consider purchasing one of the more expensive versions of the game. It is going to be a little more money up front, but you're going to get a much bigger stash size that's going to allow you to have a much bigger inventory. Basically, if you're a hoarder, you're going to want to buy the more expensive version. Now, there are ways you can expand your stash, I believe, through the game by using different resources, money, and stuff like that. But keep in mind, it is a grind to do that. So that's something you guys want to take note of. Now, every different item in the game has a different amount of space it takes up in the inventory, but what is cool is you can actually rotate all your items. So like you can have a gun facing this way in your inventory, or you can press R and you can rotate it to position itself horizontally in your inventory. So that's super cool. If you're trying to make some more space for stuff, you have the option to flip all of your items, not just gun, any of your gear items, you can flip them vertically or horizontally. There's also different merchants that you can go to. You can buy all sorts of different parts, resources and stuff. You can sell any of the stuff you find in your raids through these vendors that you can go to. There's also an online auction house where you can actually post up items that you want to bid to other players in the community. This is something that I haven't unlocked yet, so I haven't personally experienced it, but I do know it's a good way to try to get some cool items and stuff, or try to sell some of your other stuff that you think you can get more money out of selling it to a person in the community versus just selling it to a vendor. So now you know a little bit about how the inventory and stash space works. Let's jump over and talk about the maps. So the first time you load into Escape from Tarkov, you're going to get the option to pick any of these maps on the screen, right? You're going to click one that seems appealing to you. You're going to load in and be like, what the heck? Where do I go? How do I navigate the map? Because you're going to notice there's no keybind or no option to pull up a on-screen map to tell you where you're at and show you different points of interest on the map. Now, there are ways you can actually get maps to look at for these different areas in game, but when you're just starting out, that's not something you're going to have access to. So the best option I can give you guys is what I've been doing myself, and I've actually been Googling an actual map of the map I'm playing on. I'll just throw that up on my second monitor. Now, keep in mind, it is going to take you a little bit of time to kind of get your bearings and figure out where you are in proportion to the map that you're looking at. And a lot of the maps are going to vary from each other because they are community made maps. So different people will kind of make them their own way. So if you and your friend are playing and you're looking at one named area and it's a little bit different than what the area he's talking about is, it's probably the same area. It's just if two different people made the maps that you're looking at, they probably named it a little bit of a different name. I think they did an excellent job of the maps though. You have all different environments you can play in. You have a factory you can play in. You have the woods, which is literally just throws you in the middle of the woods. You have shoreline, which throws you on a beach that has a bunch of construction sites and like radar complexes and a hospital. You have a map called Interchange. That's like a huge shopping mall that literally has a store that's just like IKEA and it's huge. So all the maps are really cool to play on them and they all have their own unique twists. Another thing to note is when you select the map you want to play on, it's always going to give you two different time slot options. From my experience, the times are always 12 hours apart from each other, but basically it's going to give you the option to pick what time of day you want to play at. So that's something really cool. Keep in mind, if you do load in at night, it's going to be extremely dark. So make sure you take some night vision goggles, a flashlight, or something that's going to let you be able to see a little bit. So now that we've talked a little bit about the maps, let's finish off the video talking about insurance. Most of you guys probably know the term insurance from real life. All you guys have car insurance, house insurance, all the different types of insurance you have to have. Well, this game works the same way. You can, whenever you load in, it gives you the option to insure all of your gear. Now keep in mind there is a premium you have to pay for it, just like real life, but it is a very good feature that you're going to want to make use of because you're going to die a lot in this game and you don't want to lose all of your stuff every single time. Now there is a caveat to it. You're not going to get your stuff back immediate when you die. It is going to take a little bit of time. Now the time frame does vary based on which vendor you choose to insure with. If you choose one of the insurance vendors that it has a very fast return time, it is going to cost you a lot more money than choosing someone that gets your stuff back a little slower. So keep that in mind if you're going to be insuring a lot of your gear when you go in. If you choose one of the faster people, it's going to jack that price up a lot. Now there's another caveat to insuring your gear. It's not a guaranteed way to get your stuff back. If you were to get killed by someone in the game and that person is to come up and loot your MP5 that you insured, if they extract with that MP5, even though you insured it, is not going to be yours anymore. It's going to be theirs because they extracted with it. Now if someone was to kill you, they go loot your body, they see you have an MP5, they don't really care for it, they have better weapons, and they leave your MP5 there on your body. Well, as long as no one loots that MP5 off of your body, you will get it back within the time frame that your insurance claimer said you would get it back in. So insurance is super awesome and very handy to do, but keep in mind, it is not a surefire guaranteed way to get your gear back if you die. You still have a chance to lose it. But I will say the few times that I have insured my stuff, and it's probably because I'm a newer player with not the best gear, I've been able to get it back even after dying. No one's ended up looting my stuff, which I guess means that my character really sucks and my gear is really trash. That's kind of sad. Anyways, that is Escape from Tarkov. Now this is not a complete in-depth guide of like everything in the game. I just wanted to give you guys a general idea of what the game is about, give you guys an idea of the characters, the inventory management, the maps, all that stuff. So whenever you guys watch your favorite streamers play the game, you'll kind of have an idea of what they're doing now. And if you guys have been considering playing the game yourself because you see all your favorite streamers watching it, it'll give you guys an idea of what the game's like. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did and you're not already subscribed and you've made it this far in the video, be sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. I'm going to be posting a lot more Tarkov content in addition to my Borderlands 3 stuff. So if you guys want to keep up to date with all those videos, make sure you turn on notifications. And if you want to watch me play some Tarkov live, my Twitch is the first link in the description. Follow me on Twitch. I stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace. Is there anything in this secret room here?
Don't.
Whoa, someone!
Jake, that was me.
Oh God.
Who else would that have been? Let me just ask you that right now.
Oh God, dude.
Who else would that have been, Jake?
Oh God.
Who else?
Okay, look, let me explain.